the experience I had when I saw this woman. I'm not going to say her name. She was a Jewish woman who stood across from me outside the class that was going to be Indo-European Philology in the final semester of my college years at the University of Maryland, okay? I was graduating a semester ahead of when I would have graduated had I been in a normal four-year program, but to hurry things up, I went to summer school and was able to graduate ahead of what would have been my expected graduation date, spring 1976. Instead, I graduated December 1975. Anyway, I'm at this, outside this class. I get there a little early, and I go up to the door, and the door's locked. I can't get into class, so I walked away from the door down the hall, somewhat, maybe 20 feet, because I didn't want to be standing right by the door, right? And I walked down the hall, and I'm standing there, and I sense that someone stood near me to my left, and I guess I sense it's a woman. Maybe she had perfume. Maybe I could smell it that time. I have no sense of smell now, but that time maybe I smelled perfume. It's a woman. So I looked to my left to see who it was, and this has never happened like this at any other time in my life. I've made this point about myself that I do not get sexually excited in the presence of women unless I have like a note from their mother saying, it's okay to kiss this woman, I'm her mother, and you have the permission of me and her ancestors and her too. We're giving you permission to kiss her, and if you get excited, you have permission. Signed, the mother, the ancestors, and the rest of them. I have a note like that. Okay, I might get excited then. And I'm saying that the reason is because I suffered immense sexual abuse that made me frightened of sexuality. This is my theory. The sexual abuse I suffered while growing up made me frightened of sexuality. That's the best way I can say it. I said it twice for emphasis. And that's why I never got excited sexually in the presence of women. Never. So this time I did. To this day, I'm astounded by it. I am. I'm astounded by it to this day. It's never happened with anyone else. And, well, this woman was clearly Jewish, and the way she looked was like this. She looked like someone who had just finished getting herself ready for the dream date of her life. She'd just been in a shower, put her makeup on, put perfume on, powdered herself, whatever, combed her hair 100 brushes through her hair to make it perfect. Had her glasses on, the glasses were cleaned. Everything about her was picture perfect, okay? And you know, as it turned out, she was going to meet this guy who was going to be her boyfriend. She's going to meet him in that class. How do I know? He showed up. He showed up late for the class, and she says to the professor, Professor, this is my boyfriend. Is it all right if he sits in? Well, it's her boyfriend. It just became her boyfriend. It must have been, because she was picture perfect for that guy, and women do not do that, in my experience, unless they're trying to, get a guy to become their boyfriend. I can talk about our next door neighbor who got herself picture perfect like that, had to walk around the block with my sister so that she would pass by this guy who was always out washing his car with his shirt off. The intention being that he asked her to the prom. So she got herself picture perfect. I was there when they were about to take that walk, and she was picture perfect. She was hot looking. She had on, what are they called? Mini shorts, I think they were called. Not hot pants, short shorts. They were called short shorts. She had a nice tan, nice curvy legs, svelte skin. She had just been out of the shower, powdered and smooth and hormonally shimmering with a patina of what are those called? The chemicals we give off to attract the opposite sex, pheromones. There are pheromones floating off from her body like heat waves that you might see coming off the highway or a desert when you're crossing the Sahara. So that's what she looked like. Was she hot? Yeah, she was hot. There she went. She got herself all picture perfect, and she did get asked to the prom. She was picture perfect, and I'm saying there was no guy there. The guy was about to show up. I didn't know it, but I suspected it because when we went into class, I didn't even think about sitting near her. I'm saying there's something suspicious about this. A woman that looks this good, this can't be an available woman. It's simple. There's something fishy going on. I sat like on the opposite side of the room from her, even though I thought, would I love to get together with her? But instead I sat far from her and I watched and waited. And lo and behold, a few minutes after class starts, in comes this guy with a red beard. He's not tall. I'm 6'4" at that time. I'm fit. I'm young. He called me handsome. And here comes the boyfriend. He's not attractive, really. He looks nerdy. He's got a red hair, a red beard. He doesn't look like an athlete. And he looks kind of like an idiot. And he comes in, and he's smiling. And she said, "Oh, Professor, this is my boyfriend, okay?" If he sits in, I said, "Oh, well, there's the boyfriend." Thank God I did not go sit next to him. The boyfriend is late. The boyfriend is sloppily dressed. The boyfriend appears to be silly. He's got a stupid grin on his face. It's not a grin that's in any way pleasing to her from what I can see. And this is the guy she chooses over me. And how am I? I'm dressed very nicely. Well, I work after class. I have to go to work at Montgomery Mall at Walden Bookstore, so I'm dressed nicely. I'm absolutely head over heels for her in appreciation of what I can see to be her very great value in my eyes. That happens at the beginning of September 1975, and almost a year later exactly, at the end of August 1976, I run into her again. Why didn't things work out between me and that woman? Well, when I look back now, I say, the reason they didn't work out is because she was giving me a consolation prize. She was giving me second best. What she should have done is drop that boyfriend. He was not yet her boyfriend, okay? And when I ran into her a year later, she was breaking up with that boyfriend, and I witnessed some of the breakup without her knowing because, well, I saw at a distance her and her boyfriend in one of their final disagreements. And, you know, what she should have done is drop that boyfriend and taken up with me. She should have recognized that I was the one for her, not him. It was her mistake. It was her mistake, not mine. And so that's an example of when I say, when you've been the loser, you do not go back to your abuser. It simply doesn't work out. And although that's not a case of outrageous abuse, right? On a very microcosmic level, it's an example of something like abuse, okay? A wrong being done by this woman to me. in her bad judgment, the bad judgment she showed by not choosing me when she should have. Now, that may sound very egotistical. However, I'm going to stick with that point of view. Anything a person does in the area of finding what you might call true love is going to be egotistical. And if it isn't, you're not going to find that true love. You're not finding it for somebody else. You're finding it for you. So you're going to seem egotistical. And if you're not making the right decisions for yourself. So, in my old age now, I'm saying this is a rule. I am no longer going to accept any consolation prizes at the end here. I'm going to get what I want or get nothing, okay? I'm not taking second class, second best consolation prizes anymore. I'm going to get what I want, as I said, or get nothing. This woman that excites me so incredibly.
Excites me so incredibly outside that Indo-European philology locked classroom that day. How do I come to meet her again? Just about 1 year later exactly, I go out with a friend of my younger brother 4 years that I had never been friends with. This boy, his family had moved out of our neighborhood for the years I was 14 and up, playing out in the street every day with a group of kids. We played football, we rode bikes and everything. His family was not there. So he was not in that group of kids that I played with every day from age 14 to 16. And around at 16, that all came to an end. Okay, now, I somehow meet up with him when I'm about to start graduate school, and I think he was starting a job somewhere, or he was starting college. And, well, we were chatting. We said, well, let's go out someplace and have something to eat or something at a restaurant. Now, this in itself was unusual, okay? But we went out, and where did we go? Well, I went to this restaurant in this strip of stores that my concentration camp victim friend I was about to meet. She would frequent these stores. I never did. And I went to a Greek restaurant in that strip of stores I had never been to, and I would never go to again. And in that Greek restaurant was this woman, and she came to the table that my friend sat, my younger brother's friend, my younger brother 4 years friend, and I sat down at. She was our waitress, and she had a sparkling diamond ring on her wedding finger. Well, I was staggered to see that this girl was my waitress, and I asked her out. Now, where did I ask her? We went out, we were going to have a date at another Greek restaurant. Was this her choice? It's a Greek restaurant just south of Chevy Chase Circle, where my precious Aunt Rosemary taught school for 50 years in a Catholic school. this woman must have chosen this place, okay, because I had never been there before and I never went again. A Greek restaurant. Now, I gotta say that when I had my DNA tested many years later, the DNA results came back saying that my extraction was Greek or Italian, okay? It didn't say Italian as I would have expected. It said I was Greek or Italian. In other words, somehow the DNA of the Greek and the DNA of the Italian, they were the same. So it was Greek or Italian. And this woman was Jewish, okay? Her father was a psychiatrist, as I found out. And, well, with everything to happen subsequently in my life, the symbolism here is incredible. So it just so happens that I was going to meet her after this basketball game I was in. I was in a summer basketball league. It was a Catholic basketball league, I think. I'm not sure actually what kind of league it was, but the games were at that school where my Aunt Rosemary had taught, at the gymnasium for that school. That's where the games were. And the team I was on was going to be in the championship game for that summer league that day. And after that game, I was going to go down and meet her. It's interesting that I didn't invite her to come and watch the game. It didn't occur to me to ask her to come and watch that game, because that would have been a much better date than going to that Greek restaurant and having a cup of coffee or whatever we had. It would have been a much better date, but it didn't even occur to me. In fact, it didn't occur to me till now as I'm talking. Why didn't I ask her to come to that championship game instead of meet me at the Greek restaurant a block down from that school on Connecticut Avenue? It didn't even occur to me till now. And this is how many years later? Let me put this on pause. This is 49 years later, and it did not occur to me till just now. The better date would have been have her come and watch that game. There were spectators at the game. There were risers, as they're called, for people to sit on. They were pulled out, and people were in there and watched the game. Let me put this on pause. Anyway, we lost the game because one of our really good players did not come that day to play with us. And without him, we lost. Had he been there, we would have won. At any rate, when the game ended, I find what? The showers at that place are broken, or they're being fixed or something. So I'm not going to be able to take a shower for this date. And I'm going to meet this woman who I think is through the roof beautiful, and I'm all sweaty from the game. Now, I would have gone to the date anyway. That wouldn't have stopped me. But when I was walking toward the showers and I heard somebody said, "Oh, the showers are broken. There's no showers." I said something like, "Oh my God, I got a date. Oh, no shower. All right." Well, a priest happened to be there. He overheard me and said, "Well, hey, you want to take a shower? You can come in the priest's house if you want." So I said, okay. So I went into the priest's house there and saw the priest's quarters and what they were like for the first time in my life. And I took a shower in there, and I went to the date with this woman. Now, all of this is incredibly important symbolically in the way events unraveled in my life in years to come. I had that date with
Footnote,
with
let
the
me take
woman
this a
there.
little further, okay?
A block
I've been saying
south of
I'm going to have two wives, okay? Forget the word wife,
school,
okay?
and
Two
she
women,
drove me to my room down at GW
like wives, all right?
afterward.
And
And
this is apparently a stumbling block to the
well,
relationship
we were
with
raised to have
a
another
woman now
date,
at this time
okay?
in my
And the
life
other
who
date was going to be at
I
this movie
believe
theater where I had bought
wanted, or they still want to be in a
tickets
relationship
for.
with me.
Well, I
And
kind of pass to
the
like a
mean-spirited,
half dozen
unjust world is
lectures,
saying no to that,
followed by
whereas
movies.
let's
Okay,
take
and the
somebody
reason I
like
had done that
Elon
is
Musk,
because my
okay?
film teacher
My
at the
wife
University
tells
of Maryland
me that Elon
was
Musk
going to
has
give the first
children
lecture, so I wanted
with
to
more than
go
one woman.
in support of him. Okay, and I
And
wanted
I
to be
don't
there
ever see any
and see his lecture
arguments
and see the movie
in
afterward.
public
And I thought
about that.
I did
Why
not
is
see
it
all
that
half
someone
dozen
like him can
lectures,
do
but
that
they didn't
without
sell
argument, and yet the world is going to
individual
absolutely
lecture
forbid
tickets. You had to
me
buy the whole series.
to do anything like
It
that
cost like
myself?
$100, so I
Okay,
bought that.
there
I
is
didn't want
another
to.
Example of
Anyway,
the
I had a
mean-spirited,
ticket.
unjust
Now,
world I
I
live
did
in.
not know that you could not buy individual lecture tickets. So I arranged with this woman to go to that lecture. It was the first one in the series with me that night. Now, look at the symbolism of what happens here, okay? My University of Maryland professor is going to give a lecture, and I bring her to the movie theater, and I get her there, and I say, I just like this, my girlfriend, to come in with me. Can I bring her in with me, or can I buy a ticket for this individual lecture for her? And these people at the ticket office were absolutely rigid. They said, no, you have to buy the whole series. And I'm going to buy $100 ticket for her to sit in there with me in this one particular showing, okay? They didn't allow me to do it. So look at the symbolism. When I meet her in fall 1975, she comes into the classroom at the University of Maryland and asks the professor, can I have my boyfriend sit in this class? And he says yes. All right. Then a year later, I go to this movie theater, and I'm essentially doing the same thing. Is my University of Maryland professor going to give the talk there? And at the ticket office, I say, can I bring my girlfriend in to sit in on this? I didn't say it that way, but there's the symbolism. And they say no to me. She's not allowed to come in and sit in with the professor there. And what did that do? That ruined that relationship. That woman was so angry that happened, that ended our relationship. This is an example of the kind of mean-spirited, unjust world I lived in. It's okay for others to do certain kind of things, but it was never okay for me. So here's another example of that kind of thing, of the mean-spirited, unjust world I was in. I just want to point that out. So why did the people at the ticket office respond to me that way? So mean-spiritedly? Because of the rapes that I had suffered as an adolescent that gave me the appearance of being someone I'm not. And this someone I'm not brings on this kind of response from everyone. There isn't a single person, in my experience, who doesn't just love to throw the book at me. Okay? So as I've told my wife and son many times, I say, you can do this kind of thing, you can return that for a refund and so on, but if I go in there, it's not going to happen. Okay, and that's the truth of the matter. I get the book thrown at me over and over, just like that. And the reason is These rapes have made me look like something I'm not. That's the best way I can say it. And this something I'm not brings on this instinctive, angry, mean-spirited, unjust response from others. And it pretty much kept me from having a relationship with a woman completely. So I say to myself, how is it that the Lord brought me to that restaurant, and how is it that when I went there, okay, I saw that boyfriend out in the parking lot, the one who'd been in the class, he was going into that restaurant ahead of me angrily to have some kind of a last argument with this woman. So the Lord was showing me, this woman rejected you a year ago for this guy that she's now saying she doesn't want. Had she chosen you, things might have been different for her, okay? Well, how else could I explain this kind of thing? And then the subsequent wrecking of any possible relationship between me and her happens right away. Who's showing me that other than the Lord? Some people can say this is a psychic type experience. Others are going to say it's just a coincidence. That's all from me for now.
Okay, some people are going to say, look, things didn't work out with that boyfriend, right? But they also didn't work out with you. So how is it you're saying that she should have chosen you? You had a chance with her later and it didn't work. Well, here's my answer to that. I'll make it as fast as I can. I don't say I can put it my answer in words as well as I need to. I don't say, but I'll try. Aren't I saying here that if you've been the loser, you do not go back to your abuser? Okay? So, let me try to put this in words as best I can. She had passed me over for this other guy. And then I saw the breakup, part of the breakup with the guy. Saw him go in to that restaurant ahead of me. The very same red-haired guy. He was even barefoot, and he went into that restaurant barefoot. He was angry. I don't know. They were having a tiff of some kind. He came out of there. After he came out, I went in. Now, I'm angry, unconsciously, let's say, that I'm being given the consolation prize by this woman a year later. A year has gone by in my life when that could have been spent with her. So, am I going to be Mr. Patience with her when things are not going the way I feel they should be, and I'm getting a consolation prize I feel from her? No. So, that's as much as I want to say. This second chance she's going to give me is a consolation prize. And she has wronged me, in my opinion, so unconsciously I have this in the back of my mind as I'm going to ask her out the way I did, even with this, what it looks like a wedding ring on her hand. I don't know the difference. No, the shiny diamond is an engagement ring, I think. Even now, I'm not sure. Yeah, is it? You don't give a wedding ring with a shiny diamond? No, it's a wedding band. Is that it? I'm not even wearing one now. Okay, there's my wife. I don't have mine on. I saw on TV that the woman I'm interested in now, she often had hers around her neck. So I got mine around my neck. Okay, two of them here. One for her, one for my wife. So, once again, unconsciously I'm angry. And if she's not going to treat me just right, Like the woman of my dreams, right? If she's not going to treat me like the woman of my dreams, she's out. I'm not taking any consolation prizes then, and I'm not taking them now. Here's my answer.